Will this work? Only time will tell. Hello family, welcome back. If you're new here, welcome. We're actually going to go camping in a couple weeks, and we like to have bread for such as, hamburger buns, hot dog buns, the things. And I have never made hot dog buns. If you've watched any of my videos, you know I've made hamburger buns, but I never made hot dog buns. So I'm actually going to turn my hamburger bun recipe, shape them a little different, and see if we can get hot dog buns. So we've got 2 cups of water, 4.5 teaspoons of yeast. We're going to weigh out 2 pounds of flour, but we're only going to add 2 cups. We're going to let that sit in the bowl for a few minutes. So we're actually going to be making a sponge. And a sponge is a little bit of flour with your water and your yeast, and let the yeast come alive in that process. Okay, our sponge has been sitting here for about 5 minutes. Let's go ahead and add the rest of the ingredients. 2 eggs. And then we're going to add 6 tablespoons of melted butter, 6 tablespoons of sugar, and 2.5 teaspoons of salt. And the remainder of the flour. We're going to knead this until a dough ball is formed. Then we're going to bring it to the island, and we're going to knead it by hand for a minimum of 8 minutes. Then we'll put it in an oiled bowl and let it rise. Now we're going to knead this for a minimum of 8 minutes to make sure we get it all cohesive. A little bit of flour down. One more minute. Okay, 8 minutes. We'll gather up this bottom end. Make sure I get it all sealed up right here. I'm just going to put it right back in the mixing bowl, adding a little bit of olive oil. This is the top. This is the bottom where we sealed it up. Top down, give it a flip. Covered it with plastic wrap, and we're just going to let it sit on the countertop until it doubles in size. Okay, our dough has risen beautiful. What we're going to do is we're going to take 1/3 of this and turn it into hot dog buns. 2/3 of it we're going to turn into hamburger buns. We are going to weigh the dough into 2-ounce balls for the hamburgers, And then we're going to weigh out 2 ounce and turn those into little loaves so that we can cut into it and make a hot dog bun. This is experimental on the hot dog bun. I know you can hear the canner rattling over there. I just turned the burner off and let it come down temperature before I open it up, but that's just the noise we're going to have to deal with. So that's our dough. I have the scale. We're just going to weigh out 2 ounce balls. All right, let me get this all done and I'll bring you back when we're ready to form our hamburger buns and our hot dog buns. So we have 28 altogether. And now I'm just going to form these into a ball. So I'm just stretching the end that's closest to me and pinching it closer to you. And that is one. And I'm just going to sit here and do the rest. These are 2 ounces and we have 28 dough balls. So that means 10 of these are going to be hot dog buns and 18 is going to be hamburger buns. It's a very beautiful dough. It's probably one of my favorite doughs to make. The hamburger buns I'm going to flatten out and then we're going to let these rise a second time. The hot dog buns, I'm just going to roll out till about 5 inches. Just like that. And then I'm going to put everything on a parchment paper lined baking sheet. And then the same thing with the hot dog buns. Let me get everything on the baking sheets and I'll bring you right back. So on the big one I have 12. On the pizza, the round one, I have 6 hamburger buns, 2 of hopefully hot dog buns. And then on the small cookie sheet, I have 8 hot dog buns. And I have them loosely wrapped with saran wrap. And we're just going to let them stay right here on the countertop and let them proof for the second time. We know the hamburger buns are good. We know the dough itself is good. I'm just hoping we get hot dog buns out of here. That's the question. So we got the oven setting on 350 degrees. We're going to go ahead and start baking our bread. We're going to do these one tray at a time. So our hot dog buns, hopefully hot dog buns, have risen and doubled in size. We're going to put these in first. I'll let you know how long this takes. Second thought, we're going to put the 2 smaller ones in together. So this has got the 2 hot dog buns and the 6 hamburger buns. We're going to put both of these trays in at the same time. Okay, 25 minutes. Hot dog buns did stick together, but I think that's going to be okay. And that's the tray of just the hot dog buns. And the bottoms look really good. Now we're going to put the tray of 12 in the oven. And we're going to cook those for 25 minutes. Okay, so it's the next day. But we're going to go ahead and get started on finishing our camping supplies. So the hamburger and hot dog buns have been cooled. And now we're going to go ahead and slice them open, put them in Ziploc bags, and stick these in the freezer. So the hot dog buns, I'm just going to cut sideways, just like this. And the hamburger buns, We're going to cut all the way through. And we're going to do that to all the hamburger buns. Alright, so we have 10 hot dog buns and 18 hamburger buns. And not only do we have hamburgers and hot dog buns, we can also use these for sandwiches also. So we can make these into little subs, make these into little sandwiches. Perfect. So one item for the camping trip, or 2 items, is done. Now we're going to work on making an instant milk gravy mix. So that all we have to do is put a little bit of butter in a pan, add a couple tablespoons of this powdered mix, blend that in, and slowly add in milk, and you have instant gravy. If you want, you can add some cooked sausage to it, have some delicious biscuits, or if you want, put them on our hamburger buns or hot dog buns. Doesn't matter, but we love sausage gravy. So let's go ahead and get started on that mix. This is the jar I keep it in. It's just a regular quart-sized jar, and I do have milk gravy mix right there. And then on this side, I have the instructions. So because my gravy mix has milk powder in it, you can use water, or if you want it more rich, you can add milk. So it doesn't really matter. But on the instructions, it says 2 tablespoons of fat. I usually use butter. And then 6 tablespoons of this mixture to 1.5 cups of water or milk. Let's go ahead and get started. In the bowl, we got 1 cup of flour. We're going to add 1 cup of our powdered milk. We need 1/4 cup of cornstarch. 2 teaspoons of onion powder, 1 teaspoon of poultry seasoning, 1 tablespoon of pepper, this is a 1/2 tablespoon, and 1 tablespoon of salt. Now we're going to whisk that together. We want to make sure we get the flour, the powdered milk, and the cornstarch with all the spices blended in very well. And since I'm going to add it to my original container, I'm going to go ahead and dump that in there so that it will be mixed all together evenly. And now we have our gravy mix. And on the mornings that we want to have sausage gravy, we will cook the sausage and either use the fat, if there's enough fat from the sausage, or add butter to equal at least 2 tablespoons per recipe. So we'll probably need more because it's going to be 6 of us camping. One recipe is 2 tablespoons of fat, 6 tablespoons of our mixture with 1.5 cups of water or milk, or a combination of the two. So depending on how much I need to make, that is considered one recipe, and I have the instructions right here. If you go camping, do you ever get that craving where you want something sweet and chocolate? Well, we're going to go ahead and assemble a dessert. That way when we get to camp and on the nights that we want to have something sweet, we just have a few ingredients we need to add to it. In this Ziploc bag, we're going to put a cup of flour, 1/4 cup of cocoa powder, 3/4 cups of sugar, 2 teaspoons of baking powder. And in this bag, we're going to add 1/2 cup of semi-sweet chocolate chips, 1 cup of brown sugar. All right, so we need a cup of flour, 1/4 cup of cocoa powder. This is 1/8 of a cup, so we're going to put 2 of those in here. Then we're going to add 3/4 of a cup of sugar, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, all right, so that is our mix. In this bag, I have 1 cup of brown sugar. We need to add 1/4 cup of cocoa powder and 1/2 cup of semi-sweet chocolate chips. So we got our 2 blends put together, and I have the instructions written right here. So right into this bag, we're going to add 1/2 cup of milk, 2 tablespoons of butter, melted, 2 teaspoons of vanilla. And then we're just going to massage it to mix it all together. We're going to put this into a well-greased and floured skillet. Then we're going to take this mixture and we're going to sprinkle this on top of this mixture in the skillet. And then we're going to pour over the whole entire thing 1 3/4 cups of hot water. Cover it with aluminum foil, stick it on a grate over a campfire, but not a fire that is with flames, but just some hot coals. So this is going to be like after a good fire to where we have some really warm coals and we can have dessert. Now we're going to go ahead and make the pancake mix. So in the bowl we're going to add 4 1/2 cups of flour, 3/4 cups of milk powder, 1/3 cup of sugar, a tablespoon of baking powder, 2 tablespoons of baking soda, 1 1/2 teaspoons of salt. We're going to mix all the ingredients together. We want to make sure everything is well distributed through this mix. And I have the instructions right on the bag. So for every cup of pancake mix, we need to add 3/4 cups of water. Mix that together really well, and then we can cook it either on a skillet or on a griddle, however. But now we have pancake mix. This is coming along real well. And I want to go ahead and make some instant oatmeal, but we're going to make it ourselves. That way, if you want something sweet or if you want to have it for breakfast, all we have to do is just add water and we got instant oatmeal. So we're going to start off with 3 cups of oats in the bowl. Then we're going to put 1 cup of oats in the food processor. By blending the part of the oats, it's going to give our oatmeal that creamy texture that you're familiar with the instant oatmeal. So we're going to go ahead and put this in our bowl. We're going to go ahead and add 1/2 cup of powdered milk. I only have about 1/3 cup, but that's what I have. That's what we're using. Just need a pinch of salt. We're going to mix that together. And that is our base. I had put a cup of almonds in the oven and roasted those for 5 minutes. Now we're going to let these cool. I have these little snack Ziploc bags, which will be perfect. We're going to put a cup of mixture in each bag. Okay, this one's going to be a little shy. So I'm just going to steal some from the others, just so we can have an even amount. That looks good. Alright, so we have 5 baggies. I'm going to add a tablespoon of brown sugar to each one of these. I have some peanut butter powder. 2 of these I'm going to make peanut butter. So we're just going to put a heaping teaspoon of the peanut butter powder in there. The other 3, I am going to put 1/8 of a cup of coconut. Probably didn't need all of these almonds, but I've already got them roasted. We're going to put these in a food processor. We're going to blend these up into chunks. So I'm putting 1/8 of a cup of almonds in each one. That's okay, we'll have a snack. Now we have 5 different oatmeals. And all we have to do is take one of these Ziploc bags, put it in a bowl, add some hot water, and we got instant oatmeal. Perfect. We got everything that we need to make ahead of time to take with us camping. But I just want to say thank you very much for hanging out with me in the kitchen today. And if you don't mind, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. And while you're at it, please subscribe. I would love to have you part of the Grammy family. So we have all of our hamburgers and hot dog buns. And yes, they did work. See if they work with hot dogs. We'll find out about that in a couple weeks. We got our milk gravy mix. We have some pancake mix. We have a skillet chocolate cake mix, plus some oatmeal. Thanks, guys. Until next time, y'all have a blessed day. Bye, family.